Great. Well, I'm an independent advisor on data and analytics strategy, and I work a lot with software vendors, and work a lot with enterprises. I was at Microsoft for years. I was at Click Technologies for years, developing business intelligence analytic products there. And now I'm independent. And I recently wrote a book about embedded analytics, and that's the topic that I'm going to be speaking about at the event. Oh, sure. Yeah. The title of the presentation is "Embedded Analytics for Fun and Profit," which is a little tongue in cheek, but honestly, I actually do think embedded analytics is fun, and it is actually very valuable as well. And the reason it's fun is because embedded analytics actually gives you access to sometimes quite advanced analytics, but it gives you access to insight in the applications that you use every day. So for the example of a call center operator sitting there, no doubt with a whole list of calls, incoming calls that are in some paperwork or some busy work that needs to be done around each call, recording the quality of the call, action items, all these sort of things. And it can be a really dull job, or at least a very intense job. Adding analytics to that enables them to see how they're performing, not just what they're doing, but how the volume of calls relates to other days, how the volume of calls relates to their targets, and so on, and gives them some of that kind of insight. And that can actually be quite motivating to people, and it helps them to set their work in a better context. It also helps them to answer questions better. So there's an element of embedded analytics which actually can be used in almost any operational job to make it both more interesting and engaging, to make it better informed, and therefore to make it more productive. And maybe that's the fun side of it. Maybe not very fun, but fun enough. And the profit side is also important actually, because embedded analytics, when you start selling this capability into companies, well, there's a whole new market of people that you can start targeting with analytics. Yeah, for sure. When I joined Microsoft in sort of 2000, 2001, so that's about 20, 22, 23 years ago, Gartner had a report that said that analytics was only reaching about 25% of the potential market. And today, that number is way up at about 28%. We haven't really made this huge difference, despite all the work that's been done by Microsoft and Click and Tableau and all these other vendors, and all the great work that's been done. We still haven't really moved the needle in the number of people within an organization who can take advantage of analytics. We've grown the market, but within each organization, the number is pretty much the same. And one of the reasons for that is the analytics are a special capability. You have to decide, today I'm going to do some analysis. You kind of switch around and you open up the analytic tool. And what embedded analytics does, by embedding directly in the tools that everyone uses, it gives far more people access. People who would never switch on an analytic tool now have analytics. Now, for any vendor, that's a tremendous opportunity because they can create a new workflow, a new revenue stream, new capabilities in any of their software products by adding analytics to it. Every function within your product, every action that somebody takes can become analytic. And you see this even in our daily lives. And nowadays, your gas bill, your electricity bill, is probably your water bill has probably got some level of kind of bar charts and comparisons with what you've been doing, how you compare to your neighborhood. My application for my inkjet printer includes analytics of how much I'm using and predictive analytics of how much I'm likely to use the next month and when do I need to order paper and supplies. That's analytics. That's analytics embedded into very simple everyday applications. And that's what gets me excited. That's revenue. That's potential for engagement, which is pretty exciting to me. Yeah, data governance is fascinating. And I always want to say one thing about data governance, which surprises people, but it's fundamentally true and very important, which is that data governance isn't about making better decisions. Data governance is entirely about the way in which you make decisions. It is probably true that a really bad decision could actually be well governed. You would hope if it was well governed, it might be a better decision, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is to ensure you're making decisions in the right way. When you shift your mindset away from how do I make better decisions to how do I govern the process of making decisions, then that opens up a whole world of different kind of opportunities to think about. And I think today people find data governance a bit dry because they see it as something that gets in the way of doing what they want to do. It's a tax they have to pay. It's a burden. Rather than seeing it as an enabler, it's about changing the ways in which you do things. And that is an enabling quality, not just a restraining quality. But you can, if analysts, for example, data analysts being a great example of this, if they are well governed, then they have an opportunity to run wild and do all sorts of things because they're doing it in a safe space. I was visiting my grandchildren last week in Scotland, and the house is and they run around like crazy, like grandkids do. They're 3 and 4, and they just run all over the place. But the house is made safe for them. There are bumpers on the furniture, and the sharp things are put away, and the dangerous things are put away, and therefore you can let them go crazy.
Yeah.
If the house was not made safe for them, in other words, if the house was not well governed, you would need to constrain them in order to stop bad things happening. So governance is like that. Governance is giving your kids the opportunity to run riot because you made it safe for them. And if you think about it that way, it's not a boring subject. It's not a tax or a burden. It's actually an enabling and exciting subject.